I was talking to a white guy, and he said he just found out he has like a higher percentage of caveman blood than most. Yeah, and he's crazy looking.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I gotta text him.
He has a phone?
He has a hard time working.
Stone and metal.
He actually they had to get him a jitterbug.
He got 4 numbers. Gotta change them out when he make a new friend.
The government growing babies. Microchips in your anus. All koala bears are racist. The ozone layer owes me money. Martians invented turkey stuffing. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Fuck the frail shit, because when my coat comes in, they gotta use the scale that they weigh the whales with. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Momma Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove the conspiracies of anyone and everyone.
Everybody.
We're
We're rooting for every conspirator who's black.
yeah, and some of the Asians. It's a difficult time politically for all of
we
us.
we gotta link up, y'all.
You know what I've been thinking about?
Yeah.
Trump is talking about DEI with the pilots. How come nobody's talking about DEI with the bag handlers?
Whoa.
Maybe we get some white guys in there.
Ooh.
Maybe it's not all Nigerians and Jamaicans.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Right?
If we got white guys in there, then I ain't got to worry about my Jordans.
Come on.
They don't know. They don't know how rare these,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking for hokas.
You know how many pair of custom Air Force Ones I lost while going through Atlanta?
Yeah. Yeah,
Come
curious
on.
place to lose them.
Interesting. I didn't lose this shit when I went to Nebraska.
Untouched in North Dakota, and yet.
Also, it's just not a lot of white people who work at the airport off the planes, I feel like.
It is the most glaring sort of relationship of like poverty and wealth, it feels like, in looking at the hierarchy of the airport.
Really?
I think
You don't
so.
think that?
No, I really, haven't paid attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't notice that it's always foreign people with the wheelchairs?
Oh,
Like when you get off and they come and get them, it's always foreigners.
Yeah, it feels like a true caste system, right?
It's
in
never
front of
just
us,
like a guy
kinda.
named Randy.
oh yeah.
Ever.
It feels like South Africa a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've had some. Yeah, I noticed it immediately in South Africa. I probably should notice it at airports because you're right. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
It's still Africans.
Yeah.
when we went to Cape Town for our honeymoon.
Mhm.
And I remember I was like, man, this is such a beautiful place and everything is so dope. And every single meal you have, it is white people sitting down and black people serving you. And you notice that, like after like meal number 3, you're like, all right, come on.
I don't know if I could handle that in Africa. That's very different than my Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't go to any restaurant.
Hey, I was about to
I'll
say,
tell you
I
straight.
thought you were going to tell us why. And then you're like,
No. It's like I was in Sierra Leone, and the whole time I saw one white lady, and she was a Mormon.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And it felt like she had just been left there during the war. Like she spoke Creole and shit.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no white
Everyone has
people.
just a bunch of Jaimin Hansus.
Give me back my son. Idris Elba's.
Yeah.
Idris Elba's.
No, when I went to South Africa, man, it's a crazy story. I was there shooting a movie, and they put you up in like an apartment or something like that for the duration. And I got to pick it was a big complex with like 5 different buildings. So, here are all the 2 bedrooms. So let's show you one from this building, one from that building, one from that building. It's like 110 degrees outside. And my boy was coming with me and his sister, and they had their bags and I had my bags. It was the white guy was showing us around.
Yeah.
The building manager. And then the dude who was carrying the bags was the black dude. Now, this man didn't have a cart. And so we go to the first one, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. He'll just set the bags down.
Yeah.
In this one, we'll go pick a place, and then he'll bring the bags there. Once we were leaving, we were like, oh, let's see the other place. He'd get the bags, and we start lifting. And I was like, hold on. I was like, wait. Let me carry my bag. He's like, no. And then the white dude was like, no, he's got it.
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
I just kept going like, what? You sure he got it? Because he's sweating like a month. I know it's hot, but damn,
Yeah.
And I remember as we were trying to leave, we were trying to get to the last building, and these guys struggling. Finally, I was like, hey, fuck that. I need my bag. I want my bag. I want my bag. But the guy looked at me like, don't blow this for me.
Come on, man. You're going to ruin that.
got
He
a
gave
good
this
job.
weird look.
I got a good thing going on, boss.
And I'll tell you a story. We were shooting somewhere, and this is a movie with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And the crew members were, like the transport guys were bringing stuff off the truck. It was a table like there. It was like 4 white guys playing cards. But on the truck, moving all the shit, we're trying to set up for a different shot, was all the black dudes. And then Vin goes, He goes, see this dynamic? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I don't like that shit. Like, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at all. And he tells this guy, his security guy, to go say something to him. And the guy runs over, whispers in like the head guy's like ear, and he looks up, looks at Vin, and then gets to work. And then Vin goes, good boy.
God damn.
He was like,
Well, that's the best Vin Diesel story I've ever heard.
yeah, he was like, I don't put up with that shit. Not on my set.
Shit.
He's like, I know we're in you guys' town. I know how this is how things might operate here, but on a Vin Diesel production, that's not how this is going to operate.
Fuck.
I didn't even know that was a rich that you could get to clap at white men like that.
That's cool.
That's exciting.
That's way cooler than all them explosions and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to see him doing that more.
I know. I was like, yeah, man, that dude, that's a cold
Man,
dude
let's
right
go,
there,
baby.
man.
I'm about to do that in the Delta Lounge tomorrow.
God damn, it's not gonna work.
No,
It's not gonna work at all.
No, they're gonna kick me out.
Fuck. Our guest today, we haven't introed you
Yeah,
at
we
all.
haven't.
We haven't done any formalities, but we're so happy he's here. He's a phenomenal actor, comedian, writer. You know him from New Girl. You know him from Fargo. You know him from so many phenomenal shows. He has his own multiple podcasts. He's a man of so many talents. Give it up for Lamorne Morris, everybody.
Thank you.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you for having me. Thank you. I don't know why when you said that, I thought I was going to hear applause.
Normally we have
we have like buttons.
buttons.
Part
that
of me
we
was like,
press.
oh, no, ain't nobody in here.
Yeah,
It's just,
no, we're
no,
alone.
no.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
very alone.
Yeah, we keep it. We like to remember that.
Say it out loud to each other.
You do realize we're alone.
You know we're alone.
You're gonna die like that.
It's 5 o'clock. We're still alone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're so happy you're here.
Thank
You came to us with a conspiracy that I think has a lot of I would say terrifying implications for our listeners. I would say that this
You think so?
I think it has a bigger sort of like influence than maybe the language suggests.
Really?
I think so. I think if this were to be true, it would mean a complete unearthing of a lot of the way that we live currently.
It would make our current structure double terrible.
Or
We double got.
or terrifying for the powers that be, if you
Yeah.
want to be optimistic about it.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not even terrible. I would just say people will become more enlightened and would probably think differently, and behave differently. You know what I mean?
You think so? I don't think these crackers change it for nothing.
Okay, well, let's tell them. Let's tell them what we think it is. You're not crackers yet. We'll find out. But you said, my mama told me.
Black people were here first.
Yes.
Tell us everything you know, you mean. Give it all to us.
Well, again, yes, I am a science expert.
Mhm.
Yes, I am an archaeologist.
Why we invited you.
And I'm sorry I didn't say that in the intro.
Yeah.
People usually don't say it, and I like to shock them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With, my travels and my digging and my carbon-14 dating. That's a term.
And of course, the whip I keep on my hip.
Yes, exactly.
Classic archaeologist stuff.
I'm nicknamed after a state.
Indiana Jackson. That's my name.
One of the bad ones.
Yes. But I actually, this didn't actually come from my mom.
Okay.
This came from, I was watching a podcast years ago. probably like 4 or 5 years ago, with this guy named Hotep Jesus.
We're familiar with Hotep Jesus here. Yeah.
And he was talking to Joe Rogan about something. And usually when you watch like a Rogan episode and there's like a specialist on there, depending on what it is, there's like some pushback, some give and take. You know, they might say something controversial.
Depending on the specialist.
If he's
a Nazi, no pushback.
No. Listen. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
No idea what I'm saying, brother.
What you're saying.
Elon's a friend.
Yeah.
He's
At
a
the bottom of my heart, love that guy.
Yeah. But I'm watching this guy Hotep on there, and he said he was just breaking it down logically. Africans have been sailing before anyone. So and they're Africans in the Caribbean. What was stopping Black folks from coming to the Americas? You know what I mean? We were already, his theory or his thought, and there's other authors who talk about it, was that the slave trade was the source of the least amount of Africans in America, that we were already here, and so instead of bringing slaves over, they came and then conquered.
Right.
And that's how you take slaves as opposed to shipping, because, there was estimated, I think, 12 million slaves that left Africa as a part of the slave trade, but 10 million survived, 2+ million died off, throughout the journey. Right. But then only like less than 400,000 actually came to America.
Oh.
According to like the primary source or something like that. I don't know. But, so for me, I look at that as a logical basis to say, maybe we were here already and just got slowly conquered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's a far-fetched idea. And when you think about it, so many folks have a certain mindset, the quote unquote slave mentality, because you do feel that you come from this thing and you always have to overcome this thing, when that's not exactly the case. And I think there's a lot of folks that do teach, extensive Black history, not just what you learn in like public schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, what I think we can almost immediately agree on is the fact that like our public school educations are not sufficient in sort of like giving anybody a full
they
look
don't talk
at
about
history.
Black history in the Trump Bibles.
Yeah.
It's not in there. That's
not going to come up anytime soon.
Yeah.
And so, it just does not. We do not have a sufficient perspective on whatever our history is, no matter who was here first.
Right.
Yeah. I think you never will, just because it's history. To me, history, especially from so long ago, is theoretical. You know what I mean? It's his story. So you're taking the word of someone before video cameras were around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's written by the winners. Right?
Yeah. History, history is written by the victors. That's how it works.
That's how it goes. My question about the Africans, right?
Yeah.
Because we're assuming the Native Americans came over via the ice bridge, right? Long ago. From Alaska. Isn't that how they say people came over here?
I didn't know
initially.
That. No, I've never.
They came over like when out past Alaska. It was like, but at one point there was a ice bridge
that it was just a wall of ice connecting everything.
And they came over and then went down through the Americas.
Right, and then that ice slowly melted, and
so they assumingly came from the east down. Africans assumingly came from the west coast.
Yep. Right,
and then at some point they also said there was like Scandinavians who came. Are we saying that there was a time where they all met, and did those people mix? And that's what Native Americans.
Yeah, that's how you get light skins. Yeah, that's where the light skin race came from. Yeah.
The light skin race.
The light skin race.
A topic I love to bring up on this podcast.
Feel a little out of place right now.
You know the race.
Olivia, turn up the heat.
Feeling a little nervous right about now.
Because my most interesting thing though would be, when did they all interact? It does seem to make sense to me that they would come from West Africa, because what they say about slaves anyways is that all those crops could be grown here, right?
Yeah.
Rice, peanuts, all that shit could be grown in West Africa, and it came over here. So it's like, was there a time where, because I think that was probably a great time. Native Americans and Black people just chilling.
Yeah, they found ancient Egyptian, artifacts in Ohio and in Arizona, in these different places, which means
that could have just been like a nigga buried them, though.
I mean, for like that deep though, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's
like there's certain like
were the
cave
Egyptians
drawings.
seafaring in that way?
Yeah, they were the primary, people who lived on the water. You know what I mean? Like they were
like coming from that far.
Wouldn't
it be the Mali people?
Well,
would you think it would be like Mansa Musa type?
So I think my understanding is that both groups were sort of like I read something. This is giving away a little bit of the research, but I read a thing that was basically saying that they found evidence of like people back in like the U.S. Virgin Islands and Hispaniola and like a bunch of the Caribbean based off of the spearheads that they used in West Africa. That basically like they recognized this weird alloyed mixture as the same mixture that they would find on the spearheads of the African people. And that's how they figured out that like, oh, they were the ones that introduced this form of weaponry in this area.
And now on Hispaniola, which side? Because one side is no black papi.
I think that took some time. I don't think it started off that way. It was just one dude on the beach. I know. Hey, he just had on little tight jeans.
I like to think that was in their culture from the beginning.
Yeah. Nobody introduced that. That's not colonization.
No. They see the ships from the beach. You go to the other side, Baba. We had no problem.
It's not for me.
But no, I don't think the implications would mean some sort of uprising or negative.
No, I don't. I'm not saying some type of a negative. I'm talking about a society that, or even not a society as much as like a loose group of people, but I'm just talking about the idea that there was a peaceful mingling before the.
I think it was.
That's what's exciting to me.
I would like to believe that it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That people weren't caught up with race. People were just like, oh, cool, you look different. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's fuck. All right, cool.
Let's just all fuck each other.
All right.
I was thinking about that the other day though. And this is like, I'm trying to be a good person about this. Mm-hmm. If I was to encounter a new race when I had never seen one in my entire life, I would be like, we should kill them.
Whoa.
If I had never seen that shit before, that's like, you'd be like, yo, no.
Yeah.
No.
I think we also have to keep in mind that race was so different back then. Do you know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't just like, oh, you're a different color than me. It's like literally you are shaped different. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You are feet taller than I am or shorter. Like literally we look like different species. Yeah. And human history tells us that when we encounter different species in the animal kingdom, certainly we tend to kill it first and then
we eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We get a little bite and then we go like, I don't think I like biting that.
Yeah.
I'll keep it. I'll keep that.
I'll keep it for a pet.
Yeah. I'm suspicious when I see somebody new on my block. Like,
He's like, I'm always thinking about killing it, nigga. I love that murder is the first place.
I truly, it would be shocking in a way that would really scare me though.
I think even if you are the only person who feels that way in this room, human history tells us there are more of you than there are of me, certainly.
I think so.
People just been conquering people. And
fucking makes sense.
Yeah.
Fucking and killing.
You fuck it or you kill it.
Actions.
So you hear this on Rogan from Hotep Jesus. You immediately, it sounds like you're bought in. You adopt this.
Yeah, just because I look at history as like we talked about. I look at history as just like a theory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't just believe everything because someone wrote it down. You know what I mean? Like I used to write short stories as a kid.
Okay.
Completely made up shit. You're just writing a story. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? And then let's look at movie scripts, right? Let's look at books, fiction books. Let's say in 500 years, the world is gone or whatever, 10,000 years, but some of these things are left behind.
Yeah.
Now someone picks up a drawing from me and they hear about this little boy named Lamorne with a 12-inch penis. And he slept with every girl in his school. They're going to be like, this man conquered. So I'm going to be living
this
in
was
infamy.
King. My man, that wasn't short stories. That was smut.
I mean, fan fiction.
Yeah. Personal fan fiction is also very healthy, I guess.
You know, and who? Lamorne? Long Dick.
They're going to have schools named after me, Long Dick Morris. They're going to have schools. It's going to be, flags with my face on. I'm going to be on coins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because someone found this old thing and someone
this perfectly true artifact.
Yes. That's a crazy thought to think they're just going to find like the Demolition Man script.
But that is
like, they used to eat Taco Bell all the time.
But if you think about it, that's so much more likely than them fucking finding a PBS documentary about the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like a Howard Zinn book? Of course not.
Yeah. They're going to be like, once upon a time in Hollywood is the way it went.
Yeah.
This 100%. Documentarian shared it with
us. They're going to think
exactly.
Brad Pitt beat up Bruce Lee.
Yes.
That's how the white race is going to revive itself.
I think that's how they got here already. No, that's I like this. I'm with it.
You're bought in too.
I like it. I do wonder why we're not as big as the other seafaring people, i.e. the Polynesians. Because that's how they got so big, they say, right? Is because they were such a seafaring people that they got it.
Why? Because they just like taste
You have to be really hardy to like travel this sea. Especially before modern.
So it's not that's why they're big. It's more that they are big because they survived.
Yeah,
a thing
because
that
you
other
had to
people
be
could
like
not.
big and strong to do that at the time.
Are you implying that black folks aren't as big and strong as Polynesians?
Hey, he's got a nasty attitude. I've always said that he's got a nasty attitude. It's
Don't get me
not
wrong.
something
We're
I would
big as
say.
hell, but I think we can all agree the Samoans are going crazy.
No, they go. Yeah. They are. But you got to look at Africa. Africa, I'm sure there are civilizations. Africa is probably the most diverse. Well, it is the most diverse place in the world. We've got in Africa, you could find the shortest people in the world. You can find the tallest people in the world. You can find the smartest people in the world. You can find the dumbest people in the world.
Yeah,
that's a Neil deGrasse shit.
You know a bunch of African Troy Palomalus?
Yeah,
a bunch.
I know.
As many as you know Samoans.
But that's here in America.
That's fair. That's
here in America. You know what I'm saying? You go to Africa. I'm sure there's civilizations where people don't look real. They're just so big and gifted. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they just sent their biggest and best here, but back home it's just some little.
They're little over in
a bunch of Samoan Dinklages. Peter Dinklage, like you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Peter Dinklage. I love Peter Dinklage.
I would be so upset if I was a little ass Samoan.
Yeah.
Boy, like, bro.
Like, what the fuck? It is bullshit. Fuck. But he's really just like 5'9".
Yeah. He's just like average height and weight.
Yeah. He's just like, shit.
So you buy into this. How much are you now like spreading this conspiracy? Is this like you sit down with friends and family and you announce, hey folks, I've got a new perspective on things?
No, I don't spread it just because I haven't done the research. Myself. This is hearsay. It's not just from Hotep Jesus. I've heard it from other people. But when he explained it, he made it make sense to me. I was like, oh, logically that makes sense. But just because something makes sense to you logically doesn't mean it's true.
Nope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just found out that key limes are not kiwi and lime mixed together.
Nigga.
Bro,
you thought that was...
Yo, he doesn't even say dumb shit on here. That was crazy.
I really thought that.
That was crazy. I never heard you say something that stupid in my life.
I'm 37 years old. I legit was like, well, it's key lime because it's kiwi and lime mushed together. And then I found out that's just limes and the keys.
It's KEY.
Yeah, but if you're dumb, you can piece it together.
You're not even dumb though. That's why you're. This is crazy.
I'm not proud to say it. This isn't me bragging.
Trump got us all fucked up.
You actually thought that like the kiwi had a dick? It was like, let me go fuck that line real quick. Or somebody mixed seeds together.
They mix them. Yeah, they mix them.
Also, they didn't take any traits. It didn't look like a hairy nutsack. Nothing. It just looked like a lime.
Well, we don't see what key limes look like. It's like they don't put it on the bottle. They
just see the pie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if you look at that pie, it's a weird color for lime.
It is a very light green.
That's what I'm saying. So in my mind, I started with the pie, and I presumed
you worked
kiwi
your way
and lime,
backwards.
and then eventually that flavor started to become ubiquitous in all things.
I did that with red velvet.
But it started as pie, baby.
My question to you is, how long did it take you along this path of thinking to just look it up? Like at one point when you thought these two species came together, you say, let me just check this.
I got bad news for you. I never looked it up. I was so confident. And then I was so confident I said it to my father, to his face.
Oh, no.
And then he said, what the fuck?
I thought I raised you better than that.
I tried to.
He said, what the fuck?
I said, what the fuck? And then we had a long talk
about stupidity.
About how dumb I am. I'm not proud of it.
That's crazy.
My point is that you can create a logical progression that then eventually folds in on you. So I hear you when you say you don't share.
And I was going to say also to that end, when black supremacy is involved, I'm even more inclined to kind of not look it up.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, the oil man said. Shout out to the oil man. This is a good hustle, man.
So before we take a break, you, and I think you were saying this earlier, you don't believe this information to be at all like threatening to the world.
No, I just think it's almost like Trump saying, I'm going to, release the files of JFK and, and MLK and stuff like that. I go, okay, I think it just might add a little bit more clarity, but we're still here already. We still have to exist and live. That doesn't necessarily change anything. Whether we find out the government was behind it, which we know they were, people now are just more aware that, okay, maybe I should rethink, these strong stances I take based off of something that I learned in school.
Well,
that's also, by the way, how you know Trump flies no flag.
Yeah.
He's like, we did that shit.
I'll tell you.
That's great. I'll tell you.
Because he's like, I ain't do it.
Yeah.
Look what they did. That's why you fuck with me, right? Because I ain't do that.
I had nothing to do with that. I wasn't around.
I wasn't even on that.
No MLK. I had nothing to do with the shooting. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. We're looking deeply into it, though. Apparently, he was shot. We don't know if he was shot. He wasn't.
I was shot, too.
They tried to shoot me. They shot me here, I heard it coming.
I guess this guy couldn't hear.
But yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I look at it the exact same way. It's not going to shift the way, it's just going to shift the way we think.
Well, here's where I'll challenge you is that I do agree with you that in this moment, if they tell us that the CIA was behind the killing Martin Luther King Jr., nothing happens for us.
Yeah.
But I do think if they would have found out in the years closer to that, it could have created a real uprising in this country.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of the release of the information is timed in a way where they go oh, we've neutered them enough to
as opposed to it's Trump laying it out, it's it was time to let this go.
I'm saying that if we found out today that Kamala did in fact win the election, that creates an actual uprising.
Yeah, because it's so immediate.
It's so immediate. Yeah. But if we find out 20 years from now, Kamala won the election. Everybody goes to work the way they always knew they would.
Yeah, all the players are dead and gone. All the, so it doesn't really affect them. Let's say we've moved on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's except for your one friend who's radicalized who won't stop talking about it.
Right. And so in that way, I guess that's where I see this as less of a threat than it probably is because there's just been so much time that people just go, oh, what the fuck am I going to do about it?
Right.
And I mean, they're trying to have us get over our recent past. Why people be like, slavery was 200 years ago? You think they give a fuck about 500-700? They don't give a damn, bro. They don't give a damn about that.
They're like, we didn't write those books.
Yeah.
I think that's why they don't give a fuck about what happened to the Native Americans is because they were like, bro, we didn't even have our system built yet.
Yeah.
That was some old shit. We wasn't even cooking America.
I think somewhere deep in their hearts they do know how bad that was, though. That's why they're so scared of immigrants now. It's you hit the craziest lick of all time. This shit was sweet. You stole this whole shit. And of course you're scared people are going to come over and get it. Because, like, I think about that sometimes. It's like, that's why they're so worried about keeping their way of life. They're like, we committed a crazy why would you not try to keep these resources?
I can't fold on none of this.
I can't. I got to stand on it. We stole this shit. I stole it from my kids.
Yeah,
it's a power thing. You know what I mean? No one wants to give up how much power they have.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so when I see certain things happening and I go, you know, they go, oh, so many white folks doing this, white folks doing that. And I go, if I was in power, I wouldn't want to give that shit up either. Mm-hmm. So what are you gonna do about it?
And also because I want to take it.
Yeah.
Truth be told, like I'm not not trying to like. I don't know if anybody's looking for equality. I think people are looking to win.
Yeah, it's like we're not looking for equality. I just want to surpass you, and then it's like, I want to surpass you, and then I want to surpass you, and I feel like it's difficult. It will be difficult to come by. I'm not 100% sure if we'll see a completely equal society in my lifetime.
I don't think that's real.
It's always going to be off balance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's just how it is. Yeah. Power is a strong enough thing where no one wants to give that shit up.
Keep talking like that. Olivia's going to cut your mic.
I want it to be. I want everybody to say kumbaya and just be like, yo, I rock with you. I rock with you. Hey, what do you do? I can learn from you. Can you learn from me? Oh man, let's build. That'd be great. But then how do I drive a better car than you? Because if we're on the same page, then
also systemically, we need an underclass for this whole shit to work. Right?
And I think we've created so many hierarchical systems that even if we were to unpack it via race, we would still have it about height. We would still have it about weight. We would still have it about cars and jewelry, and so it would require too many things to unpack to actually get to some truly egalitarian place of joy and peace.
So at what point do we take the idea of that's just the nature of the man and we get busy how we get busy, or is it like something that could be worked up to?
I don't know.
But I think that's I don't have an answer to that.
I was watching Silo. I don't know if y'all are watching Silo at all. But one of the things and this isn't a spoiler for the show, but it's humanity lives in a silo now. Okay. And the world in theory is poison. Okay. And that is how they understand the world
not the same as that video game?
Hey man, I'm just
I'm not even
I'm not an EP. I don't know. They probably got the rights to it. I have no idea.
I thought that was what that game Fallout was about.
Fallout's a different show.
Yeah,
but it's
similar.
They're in bunkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Silo, they legit think they can't even go outside. Right. I think with Fallout, they know they could go outside. It's just fucked up there.
Right.
But anyway, with Silo, one of the things, the principles of like their existence inside the silo is them going, we don't know how we got here. We don't know who built this silo. We know we can't, or that outside is dangerous and someday we can go back outside, but today ain't that day. Mm-hmm. That's like their doctrine. Mm. And I was thinking, and I said it to my wife, I was like, that's kind of cold.
Yeah.
To just restart a society and be like, ain't no history.
Yeah.
History don't exist. We ain't here. Get in. All right. We need to take a break. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be back with more Lamorne Morris, more My Momma Told Me. Lamorne, I did a little bit of research on your conspiracy that I would love to unpack with you. I'll tell you that I don't know shit.
Okay.
You heard the key lime comment. I'm not a learned man, but I did Google a lot of things, and I want to run them your way. So agree, disagree. Let's figure it out together. Okay. There are some people who claim that black people actually existed in America thousands of years before white people came to this country. Okay. Those same people, and some of them more extreme than others, but those same people also claim that Africans were the ones who originated in America, that like we are in fact the indigenous group of America more than 50,000 years ago, and that the Mongols came over from a different, like after a different era.
Via the same
a different
Eurasia.
sort of pathway, and then ended up crossbreeding with us, thus creating what we now understand to be Native Americans. That is the Hotep literature interpretation of our current American makeup. So in theory, that's how Black people started in this country. Now, plenty of white Googling will tell you that is completely false.
Yes.
The white man's history will say that's completely false, that Native Americans were here first. Now they admit that, sort of, but they certainly don't say that Black people were first. They say that the first Black people, however, got here in the early 1500s, which, if you are in fact a historian, you know Christopher Columbus claimed to have gotten to America in 1492, but never actually got to America ever in his lifetime.
He got to the Caribbean, right?
He only made it to the Caribbean, and he went back like 3 times and beat the shit out of them every single time he came.
But he did say, I think he said when he came here, he met Black people.
Right, because they already existed in the Caribbean.
Because we had been here.
And that's the thing we were talking about earlier with the Mali tribe had already made touch in the Caribbean, leaving behind those spearheads that ultimately became the weapon of choice for the native Caribbean people.
Mansa Musa had it, boy. Man.
Yeah.
Damn. Would have been a good time to be dark skinned.
You'd have been killing it.
I would have gone crazy. Yeah. Are you kidding?
You might have been light skinned for back then.
Yeah. That's all right. Relax.
Think he better than us. He all dark. He all unseen at night. He ain't he better than us.
I would not. That would be crazy. That was probably the best time.
Yeah. But all that said, the white man's history tells us the earliest Black African person came to America in 1501. Columbus doesn't, in fact, get here in 1492, which does mean that as far as people who sort of colonized America or sort of like introduced themselves to America, Black people did precede white people.
Like the original colonizer, settlers or whatever?
Settlers.
Was it already called America then?
No, it didn't have certainly an English name.
It was
because
called Africa 2.
It was named after that.
It's called Africa 2. And they changed it.
Like Africa.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, though, is that we'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never know. You know, they're going to say one thing. Other folks are going to say one thing. And then, you know, it's just left up to... That's why I believe that even if it did come out as fact, nothing will actually happen because it doesn't change the state in which we're in today.
100%.
You know,
what would people even do about it? Are you gonna give up your home?
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, no one's gonna give up. Like, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Give up your house because of what happened.
Yeah.
Nothing that happened before they erected this system is going to take to make any change in this system.
Yeah.
I truly don't.
But it would be nice to know. It would be nice to know the truth.
It would feel good.
Yeah.
There are people. I'll tell you guys this. They're and I'm sure you're familiar. The Moorish Americans. Are we familiar with the Moorish Americans?
Is that the
ones who wear those funny hats?
States?
Yeah. Well, so they do expand into that. Yes, the Moors wear the funny hats, absolutely. But the Moorish American Temple, there are organizations inside of the Moors that believe in sovereignty. And part of the reason they believe in sovereignty is they believe that Black people's, or rather white people's ownership in this country is completely falsified, that like they basically usurped a bunch of land from us that wasn't ever supposed to happen in the Louisiana Purchase. That like we, in fact, were the ones that were owed land in the Louisiana Purchase, and then they just like
but are they saying that
shit.
they're saying that the Louisiana Purchase was not from the Native Americans as we see it? They were negotiating to buy it from Black people.
I think they're
because either way the deal was bad, right?
Yeah,
that deal was like only the Haitians I think got a worse deal in life.
Yeah, no, it sucked for sure, But they're saying like, yo, we were supposed to be the victors in the Louisiana Purchase, and instead white people took all the land.
So we were supposed to trick the natives? I don't love that. That's still bad. That's just still...
We were supposed to be the devil.
It's supposed to be Black Devil.
What the
fuck? We supposed to be calling them niggers.
That is their word. Now, there's no real evidence of this claim, obviously, but it feels possible, at least to me, that like the total American footprint would be much more complicated than what's being presented. That this was just a country completely filled with Native American people and nothing else until white people arrived makes no sense to me.
But here's the thing is I don't know if it would make me feel better because just that idea is complicated enough to me.
Oh.
That there was full of Native Americans and you came and killed them?
Yeah.
And then put them on resident. That's already terrible. Whatever happened, you cleared the shit out.
Yeah, no, everybody, they
somebody conquered.
The block.
Yeah.
Clearly, you can see someone
clearly.
conquered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is the way shit was done back then. Yeah.
And I think the conquering...
Is this the biggest conquering, though? South America, I guess.
No, I mean, Genghis Khan conquered the world.
Fair.
He literally, I think it's some crazy number where like a third of humanity is like genetically related to Genghis Khan.
Yeah, no, he beat Will
Chamberlain?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was out here.
No, Will Isaacs. That other Will, you know. Will Chamberlain.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Also, I'm the same guy who believes in lizard people, so I don't really.
We should have started with that.
I look at all this like this. I go,
yeah.
This is all one big mystery to me.
I'll be honest. I was getting lizard people vibes, but I didn't want to be rude.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he really felt bought in from a dude named Hotep Jesus. That's
fair.
Feels
that's fair.
Like you could play around with lizards.
You mean like the double eyelids and all that?
Yeah, when people go like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not even that. It's not even that I believe it. I don't actually believe in that. But if if someone presented that to be fact, I would go like this. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the truth is stranger than fiction. This world is so mysterious. There's so much uncovered things, so many uncovered things that we have no idea of. Yeah. You know what I mean? And all the stuff that we do believe is a theory. So we go, man, that's, what if? What if something strange? When people say the world is flat, I go, I'm not going to knock you for it. I don't know. I know it's round.
I do think that one's stupid.
Yeah, I know it's round, but I'm also not going to be like, you're done. Hey, believe what you want to believe, man. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that believe Michael Jordan's better than LeBron James. People are crazy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
People are crazy.
I don't know.
They just found
noted pussy getter LeBron James.
They just found a square, like some sort of square, perfectly square structure on Mars. A picture of it. And I go, when did that get there?
Right.
Like, how did that form? Did it form naturally?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It could be that we've been around so damn long that this conversation has happened a billion times.
Right.
Oh,
throughout the course of history? Like, who knows?
I mean, that is the argument in the Matrix, right? Is that like we have restarted and ended civilization multiple times.
Yeah.
That like we are not as unique as we think we are.
Not at all.
This ain't our first swing. That planets build, they die, and then we get another chance.
This shit's not even interesting. Like, it's just, we've been doing the same shit too. Like, it changes a little bit. Like, was it you who was telling me about how the Mayans had museums?
No.
Damn, who was I talking to about that?
The Mayans have museums?
Yeah, they had museums of ancient artifacts.
Whoa.
And then you're like, oh, this shit is like, it's all been, okay. I mean, I guess the internet's new, but the same, we've been doing the same basic shit. Right. And then it gets to a place where it's untenable because there's too many people and it breaks down.
Yeah.
Probably, it'll happen again, probably.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas are bleak.
With that being said, none of this is true. I am not a scientist like I claimed to be earlier in the podcast.
Yes. I would still like to get booked for your show.
Yes. Most people would consider me ignorant. So if you're okay with that, I would love to come and do your podcast.
Hey, I'm making my rounds.
Spreading these lies. Shout out Hotep Jesus. And
here's what we need to do. We're going to take one more break. And then because I now am very excited that you are a lizard person rising. You know what I mean? You're finding yourself.
I can be convinced
inside of a lot of conspiracies. I actually have a number of other conspiracies related to Black people and the origins of our understanding of the world that I want to run your way. Okay. This is very exciting. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with more Lamorne Morris, more My Momma Told Me. Hey.
How is my man supposed to schmeat his meat with this shit, bro? What the fuck?
Yeah, we're back.
That was a good pick. That was a really good pick.
Yeah. We're back with more Lamorne Morris. We're still talking about the possibility that Black people were here first. Now, it sounds like we're all mostly bought into this premise. Now, let's talk a little bit about Black people inventing Greek mythology. That is an argument that I've read, watched videos of niggas claiming that we are actually.
This is a Bobby Hemmitt.
This is a Bobby Hemmitt.
I do it.
It's a Bobby Hemmitt classic.
He be trying to sneak Bobby Hemmitt propaganda onto this shit.
It's one my man put together.
Wait, that the idea of Greek mythology and all of its characters and players was invented by Black people.
Not only invented by Black people, but that we are the source material for Greek mythology. That Black people were gods on this planet, and it is only through time and sort of the stealing of our essence. He claims that we gave it away to white people so that we could rebuild to something greater than gods. But
he knows
basically,
that.
Yeah. He says that. He says that's what we did, is that we gave it all away so that we could become greater in the eventual future. But he claims that the Greek gods were just Black people. We could throw lightning bolts and fucking, have full-grown people come out of our pussies.
I feel like I've heard this stand-up comedy bit.
You give birth to a 6'7" nigga.
Yeah. Big old LeBron James.
Yeah. Big old pussy getting athletic.
Or Scotty.
Now that's Greek mythology.
Yeah.
That's a tragedy.
That's a tragedy if ever there was one.
I would have won 6 championships without Michael Jordan. Okay.
All right, Scotty.
Okay. He's a lizard person.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I love Scotty. I'm from Chicago.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Oak Park.
Oak Park.
Oh, that didn't look like it went that well.
No.
It's still Chicago.
I gotta be honest.
It's still Chicago.
Are you from? But you're from the city?
Yeah, like 101st and Eggleston.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah. And I moved around a lot though. I ended up going to Wheaton.
Okay.
In high school.
Yeah.
And Glen Ellen, and went to college DuPage.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
DuPage.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
Listen, man, they have a fine theater establishment.
Okay.
Very, very fine.
Yeah.
Very fine.
Italian hot beef.
Yeah, they got that.
I'm just trying to get in.
Onions.
Look like you guys are having a good time.
Polish people.
Kowalski.
So you hear that, you're bought in, you believe this, you're open to this as a possibility?
I can't say that I'm open to the idea that we were throwing lightning bolts.
Okay.
But the idea that we believed in our power so much so that we felt like the supreme beings. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's the idea that...
I know guys like that now.
I know. I mean, there's people like that with that kind of, I could do anything.
God body.
Yeah. But back, there are certain things that we don't explore on a common scale here in the world, which is like being able to use sound to like move pyramids and things like that.
Yeah,
those are apparently
you
back
cracked
then,
open this third act.
I'm just saying.
No, I like you.
Back then apparently they had that. They possessed that power.
Yeah,
that they can use the elements. That they could use 100% of their brains to control things and manipulate weather and do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. So I wouldn't be shocked if that was a real thing. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked. It's just so far-fetched because there's no evidence of that.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Completely disconnected from our lived experience in a way that you couldn't begin to prove it even if you wanted to.
Right. Because there's no way that people back then were able to like fly and do all these things when I can barely touch backboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, barely.
I do believe that it was a dude telling a story who said that though. I was getting his ass, baka, and I started throwing lightning bolts. Bow, bow. That fucking about 10 bitches, bro. I came down, I was a goat, fucking all these goats. Like, that does seem like.
And my son, strong as hell. One of my sons is mean, but my little son, he's strong as hell, bro. Hercules.
I was just trying to finish your cut, big dog.
Don't cut my locks. Don't cut my locks. That's my source of power.
This nigga lying.
Oh man, so I'm not completely bought in.
You're not completely bought in on that. Now, what I will also say is another thing that Bobby Hemmitt claims is that Black people originally settled Ireland, France, Russia, and Bosnia. And that Stalin did not, in fact, kill 20 million people because his nation would have turned against him. But instead, he did ethnic cleansing in Russia and basically eliminated the remaining Black population. That, like, we were the main folks in Russia, and then Stalin.
Russia always been that cold?
I think that,
the whole time.
Stalin ain't eliminated.
Also, that's too recent. That's too recent for that kind of.
I read it and I was like, all right, man, you're being wild.
Yeah, that's like that just happened.
And that's the thing with like when history is so recent, it's not necessarily theoretical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, there is footage or there might be books, there might be photographs, you know, and you know, people telling the tale that are still around, that are still their ancestors.
Yeah.
Then that's more believable.
The game of telephone hasn't even gotten long enough for you to put in something silly.
Yeah.
That being said, there's already Holocaust deniers.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, especially with the way things are working now, and you see, like, I'm speaking more to specifically Americans. You see how the misinformation goes. I don't know, man. There's people who, via the media that they intake here, are on a completely different narrative of things that are happening. QAnon is people believe that shit, and that's real time.
I guess I wonder how many people genuinely are Holocaust deniers, and how many.
Yeah, there's got to be a small amount.
It's probably a very tiny amount, and a lot of bad actors.
Yeah, think so?
I do. It's not that I don't think that they're denying. I don't think anybody is legitimately denying the deaths. I think what they deny is who made up the deaths and why they did it.
I think they try to deny like the magnitude too.
And that's what I mean is I think they'll say like, all right, it happened, but it wasn't 6 million people.
It was 4.8.
Yeah, or like it happened, but it wasn't Jews exclusively. They were doing this. And like I saw a video the other day of a dude being like, the Holocaust happened because Hitler was trying to get rid of the gay culture that was invading Germany. It had nothing to do with... Yeah. He was like, it was about...
It's a crazy...
Bro, he was...
the gays.
He was like, bro, wake up. He was doing the right thing. He was trying to get rid of the gays.
People really... homophobic people love to use like penetrative language for how they talk to He's invading it. They were taking it. Booty snatching.
You remember what's the old dude name? You are gay. Remember that dude?
That's one of our drops.
Yeah.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
He just started following me on
Congratulations.
Yo, I feel like I made it.
That's so cool.
I was like, yo, this dude.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. He has a whole Instagram account. He posts videos. He's still
a lot of similar content.
Yeah. But at this point, because I think I want to say, through looking at his Instagram, he has videos with gay people and like trans people where he's like making fun of himself.
So he's like aware
now that, okay, maybe that was stupid.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then that now he's come to terms with the idea that he is the most memeable person.
Okay.
So he's like,
now I can buy the merch.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think I
ever bought the merch early on somebody and it didn't go well?
No. Who did you buy the merch on?
Man, that nigga, I like pogs, the thick type. It was just pandemic, and I was in the crib, and he had merch, and it was so funny. But then I bought, bro, this is actually crazy. Yeah. I bought the shirt, and it was a shirt. It was a picture of the guy. It said Pog Nation on it, which that's not even my get down. Yeah. It said Pog Nation on it. And then it said, Donald Trump, you done. And I was like, this is the funniest shirt. And I bought it during pandemic. And then one day my friend called me. Yeah. He was like, it was like 7 a.m. He was like, I have to come over. I have to tell you something. And I thought he was going to tell me something cool about his career or something like that. So I was like, oh, let me put on this funny T-shirt. And he comes over and he's like, my mom died. Who was like a mother to me. And then I'm like crying. And then I get up and I was like, I wish I wasn't wearing this shirt.
Oh, damn.
Shout out to Sam Talent.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But I got the shirt too early. Yeah. And then that guy never became self-aware. Yeah. And then it was just like terrible
trauma happened to you while wearing the worst shirt.
Yeah. And then now, like, when we were moving, my girl's like, I hate that shirt. And I'm like, I have to keep it. Yeah. I understand you hate everything about it. There's nothing on this shirt you like, right?
But I had a friend. His name is Radio Raheem.
No,
you know Radio? Radio? Boxing announcer. Dude he's been on my podcast before, but he's like a great friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's also one of the funniest people who's not a comedian. Like, he's so funny. He's surrounded by comedians. Chappelle's his best friend. Like, he's surrounded by just comedy. But when my daughter was born, I had like a little party at the house. Hey, my daughter's here, blah, 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 blah. This nigga brings me a gift. Is the shirt that said, "You are not the father."
That's so funny.
You are the worst person.
That's so funny.
That's great.
I love a funny T-shirt.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna throw a little doubt in there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put that on at a weird time.
Yeah, no, a very awkward time. When my daughter's getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
When she gets much older, when she's like 18 and she don't give a fuck about me no more. Put that shirt on.
This? I got it on the show. Little show I did
called Maury.
Povich, if you're nasty. So you're not bought in on this settling of Ireland, France, Russia?
No, I don't think that's real.
No, not bought.
Here's the thing, bro. Sometimes it's like we don't have to have. Not everything has to be us. There's other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's fine if we. Like, that doesn't detract from us that we didn't. Okay, Bosnia is not ours. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
sometimes
we
it's
want
like
Bosnia
easy.
now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's like easy. It becomes this thing, especially when a section of your history is taken, that you want to glom onto anything that has some sort of validity in the way that, like, the Western world, that a France does or a Russia does. But it's like, we don't even. Bro, we got, like.
But what if?
Why you hate Africa so much?
But what if?
See, this is why I like the way you play, Lamorne, because.
But what if?
If we
ran all of it? What if we were everywhere?
What if niggas are the equivalent of people that you argued with and then they go, so? You know what I mean? It's like, well,
I can't come back
told
for that.
You.
Yeah.
I gave you everything. So. It's like, well, all right, well, fine. I don't know. What do you want me to do? You a bitch. So. All right, fine.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, what if? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
But again, I also just said that I wouldn't be shocked if there were lizard people. So that is not far-fetched.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in deep waters.
Yeah.
We're in deep waters.
He goes on to say, as it relates to the Ireland thing,
is
Bobby Hemmitt.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, Bobby Hemmitt. He says that the allegory of St. Patrick running all those snakes out of Ireland is actually a reference to
St. Patrice.
To snake people, the black folks.
Big black snakes.
Oh,
Black snake mold.
Yep, out of Ireland. And he says the river dance is black.
The river dance?
I could see.
Yeah, it's very similar to a crip walk. Very similar.
It reminded me of footworking.
Yeah, 100%. Fatal
Who's
Fusion.
old boy who got famous off that shit? Remember him?
Footworking?
No.
Nobody.
Off of Riverdale.
The Lord of the Dance.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Dance.
What
What's his
happened to
name?
him?
I think he got in some trouble.
Oh,
I think he was out here. He was the Lord of something else.
damn.
Lord of the Dance.
Taking all my heroes.
Yeah, I don't think he ended up too good. But
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah.
So River Dance is black folks started that.
That's what Bobby Hemmitt says. Yeah,
I like that part.
you like that part.
Mhm.
You're willing to buy into that, but not us.
I'm not. I'm saying I like that part better than I like the other parts of this.
It's
I
your
don't-
favorite part of the story.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
You feel the same.
I don't know. I mean, it could be true because niggas love to dance.
We do.
We be dancing,
We
bro,
do.
and we be the best at it.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's not.
The Koreans coming up. Though.
Oh man,
They're moving fast.
Yeah.
They're moving fast.
I think everybody's gifted at something, and it's just with the new, like you'll say, oh, black folks are gifted at athletically this, or they'll say the stereotypes. Oh, we can hoop and we can do all these things, and I just go. With the way we take in information due to the internet, and everyone's sharing cultural ideas from across the world. You're seeing more and more Europeans who are busting our ass in basketball. You're seeing Asians dancing circles around us.
It used to be two guys. It used to be two European guys.
Yeah.
It was Peja Stojakovic and Vlade Divac, and that was it.
Arvidas, if you take it a little back,
Johnson Petrovic.
Deadlift shrimp.
But now come on now, Joker is like,
he's the best.
That's why I'm worried they're going to invent a new sport and keep us out. That's the worry. What are we going to do when basketball gets
I think
old?
they tried with pickleball.
yeah.
Pickleball is not athletic though.
I think they thought they could start there and maybe it would catch on so well that it would become this full unearthing. I think that's also why we keep hearing the NBA numbers are down. I think they're really trying to pivot off of our shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe so. Well, you think about how global the NBA is becoming, and you talk about all the different regions in which they're trying to push teams or expand the league. LeBron is pushing for a Vegas team, but more than likely that won't happen. More than likely they'll get a team in London.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're going to start the European sector of the NBA before they start. If
they get basketball hooligans over there, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad about basketball firms in London.
But it's gonna get crazy because it's like that golf league that they started.
The indoor golf league.
Yeah, the one that you basically ate the PGA just because they were like, no, we're gonna do it over here.
Are you talking about in Saudi Arabia?
Oh
yeah.
Where they were like, no, we're just gonna do it bigger, better, and pay them more.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, yeah, I'm going to go over there. I don't give a fuck about these green jackets.
Talk about conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it for a second. The biggest conspiracy theorist on the planet Earth is who? Who would you guys say?
Hemmitt.
I would say Alex Jones.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
He's famously
conspiracy,
turning the freaking frogs green.
Yeah. He said something about. He goes, I just got word from a really good source, an inside source. LeBron James is selling off all his property. He's selling his property. He's moving to Europe.
Yeah.
And people were like, the fuck? Why is he doing that? Then it comes out allegedly that Maverick Carter and all these different folks are putting together. They were raising a fund, $5-something billion to start a European league,
Bro.
I was like, whoa.
Culture, well, that's so bad. Once pop culture leaves here, we're cooked. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Once our pop culture credit is up, it's so because you don't want
guns and pop culture are all we have left.
Yeah, you about don't want to be here if it isn't for that.
No,
right? Because those people over there, they like our pop culture, but that's because they never been to Kansas City.
Yeah,
that's not. That was crazy. But they've never been to Indiana.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree.
Man, that's the whole state.
That's the worst place.
Just the whole little area. No thanks.
Hey guys, you guys want to see me footwork? We don't care.
No.
Man. And that's gonna, and I worry what that's gonna do to us as a people.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
If our pop culture cachet runs out and we do not, and we have invested so heavily in that. I mean, I think it's a chance to pivot in a positive point, but it seems like it could be difficult.
I think that's why Black people have such a hard time with appropriation in the first place, is that we are watching our last true recognized value be usurped by someone else.
Like European.
Yeah, and you go like, bro, no.
Yeah.
I invented that shit.
Right.
And then they go, well, anybody could have invented it. It could have come from anywhere. And that drives Black folks crazy.
But I also think there is, I think there's a movement towards the opposite side of that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with information, there's people who don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, that's cool, but that's not all the Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Black folks are doing all kinds of stuff all over our country. And so, you know, if it is for me, us, you know, our currency shouldn't be only in that.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you know
not
what
at
I mean?
all. Not at all.
And if like you said, if it is an eye-opening thing for Black folks to go, you know what, let me explore all of my talents more than, you know, how cool I look.
Yeah,
let me explore everything.
We can keep that as well, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna go.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
that's 100% true. That will always stay there.
We stay cool, but we also learn to.
There's so much shit we know how to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
to build rocket ships.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
Rocket science.
Whoa!
You gotta chill. You gotta chill.
All right, that's fair.
You gotta take it easy.
All right, that's fair.
I think we did it. I think we did.
Yeah, no. If we keep going, I'm gonna really.
This guy's out of his mind.
I think we solved some things today.
I think we did too. I genuinely think, if nothing else, we all seem to have landed on history does not start and stop where the history books have told us.
Right.
And certainly cannot be trusted to remain in the hands of the people that gave it to us in the first place.
Yeah.
It is a shared history and everybody should be contributing to the larger conversation, even if it's not written down the way we thought.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. You want to tell the people where they can find you? What cool shit you got going on?
Oh, man, you can just go to my IG, you know, at Lamorne, Lamorne. I update it all the time. My podcast is called the Lamorning After Podcast. Also, I have one for the New Girl fans out there called The Mess Around with myself and Hannah Simone. So you can find me there. Saturday Night just came out on Netflix. So, you know, make sure you check that out. Also, you know, I'm currently in production on a show called Spider Noir.
Let's go.
With Nicolas Cage. And so I can't talk more about it, but you know, when it comes out, please make sure you check it out.
I'm excited. That's dope,
man. Yeah, and you find me everywhere. I'm outside.
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally outside all the time.
Yeah, we keep saying, Lamorne, get in the house. And he said no.
I said, nope. I can't find it. I've been drinking.
I'm drunk.
I'm drunk again.
This stuff makes me sick.
I'm allergic to this shit.
Boy, what you got?
You can find me in the house with that naked cat, not getting in no kind of trouble. You ain't got to worry about old David. No, Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram. Patreon.com/David Bory. Buy my special Birth of a Nation and then come see me do stand-up.
Yeah.
It's real good. My stand-up's moving right now.
Okay, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're always funny, but you feeling extra funny right now.
I feel like I am better than I was the last special.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
Huh.
I was going to say, I feel like I am better than you.
That would be
That's what you were going to say. I was like,
I'll be honest.
Fade to black.
They must be really close.
I'll be honest, I would have ate it, but I would have thought about it a long time. That would have been the whole car ride home. Did that nigga mean that?
Is he serious?
Why did he say that to me?
Art's not comparative. Except for you bum-ass stand-ups out there.
Man,
you know who
everybody
you
else,
are.
You suck. You can follow me at Langston Kerman on all social media platforms. March 29th through the 31st. You can also see me at the Vermont Comedy Club. And if you want to send us your own drops.
Wait, are we doing March dates? Can I do two March? I got two March
go
dates.
ahead.
March 1st, you can see me at the Carco Theater in Renton, Washington, next to Seattle. March 14th, I'm going to be at the Comedy Commonwealth in Cincinnati. And March 15th, I'm going to be at the Comedy Corner Underground in Minneapolis.
Hell yeah. And if you want to send us your own drops, your own conspiracy theories, if you want to tell us Black people also are indigenous to Antarctica, send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Buy the merch, rate, subscribe, review, and most importantly, bye, bitch.